A Wisconsin rafting adventure turns tragic when a young woman dies. Now her family is pushing for increased safety measures.
They knew that these conditions were extremely dangerous.
But would new regulations actually help save lives? News 3 investigates Thursday at 10.
About rafting on Wisconsin's rivers.
But for the first time, a family whose daughter died on a summer trip is speaking out about their safety concerns.
Jennifer Hoff and News 3 investigates the businesses that are protecting themselves, but not necessarily you.
Yeah, guys, this has been a really eye-opening look into these businesses that we found there's no law, no regulations, permits, licenses, not even a requirement that makes rafters wear life jackets. This YouTube video provides perspective from one of the state's more popular rivers, the Wolf. The rapids near where Middleton native Lena Vergara fell off her tube are class 4 or difficult. The dive team leader there even tells me he didn't risk sending his crew into the treacherous conditions that July day to look for Lena, which makes her family wonder why rafting companies allow inexperienced people like Lena navigate those waters alone.
You know, we're not asking for much, but just precautions, safeties for the future for other people like my sister that want to enjoy the tourism in Wisconsin, but also do it in a safe manner.
If you're looking at changing laws, making sure that whatever those changes are really address the issue, and not just changing the law because of a tragic event.
Now, coming up tonight at 10 o'clock, we're going to compare the Vergara's proposed changes with the success that maybe more popular rafting companies have had out west, like in Utah, really in hopes of better protecting the rafters who enjoy that sport here in Wisconsin.
So why don't they have to wear life jackets? It seems like it'd be a basic necessity, like putting on a seatbelt when you get into a car.
And just to be clear, it's not anything that the rafting companies have done wrong. They don't have to. They just have to recommend these life jackets as well as provide them. But it's a Wisconsin law, really, that there is no law in Wisconsin. In 2009, a legislator had tried to pass a law making anyone under 12 years old wear one on a boat, but that failed twice in the legislature. And Wisconsin and Virginia are actually only 2 states in the entire country that don't have a law like that.
Let's go on whitewater rafting in the state and in Michigan, and if they don't give you a life jacket, if they don't teach you what to do if you fall out of the raft, and also how to get back in, as a consumer, don't go. You have to ask these questions, even though you are signing your life away when you do this. You should ask up front, do you provide safety gear and techniques to save my neck if I fall into the water?
And in these cases we found they do recommend them, they do provide them, but under Wisconsin law they are not required to wear them. So we'll look into that a little more later tonight.
Okay.
All right.
Lease form at one of Wisconsin's popular rafting companies, and you're free to navigate the waters.
But News 3 investigates rafting companies protect themselves, but not necessarily you. Jennifer Hoff is here with a preview of the story she's working on for News 3 at 10. Jennifer.
Guys, the state does not regulate rafting. Operators don't need a license, and riders are not required to wear a life jacket. Outfitters can and usually do recommend one, though. But Wisconsin is one of 2 states that its law does not require some people keep jackets on in moving boats. A Middleton woman fell off her raft in July and drowned on the Wolf River despite having on a life jacket. Now her family is pushing companies to offer guided river trips, lifeguards, and mandatory helmets.
We're not asking for much, but just precautions, safeties for the future for other people like my sister that want to enjoy the tourism in Wisconsin, but also do it in a safe manner.
Now look at states out west where rafting is more popular, and boating deaths are nearly half of what Wisconsin reported last year, and commercial rafting deaths are even less. So why are rafters there seemingly more safe? A Utah guide answers that, and then we ask what's being done to keep them safe here tonight at 10 o'clock in a News 3 investigation, guys.
A story I know you've spent a lot of time on.
A lot of time.
We look forward to it tonight, Jennifer.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jennifer.
This time of year, most northern Wisconsin rafting companies are closed. Come summertime, they're bustling. I'm Jennifer Hoff, and News 3 investigates the risk you run when having fun on the river, and when something bad does happen, who's there to help you?
In short, no one. Tonight, a first-time look at big business that's completely unregulated, and the Madison family pushing to change that. A Middleton woman drowned on a summer rafting trip, and tonight her family says it didn't have to happen. Wisconsin's rafting businesses are protecting themselves if something goes wrong, but not necessarily you. News 3 Investigates found there is no law, no regulation, not even a requirement that makes rafters wear life jackets. Here's Jennifer Hoff.
Come summertime, it can be fun. It can be relaxing. A News 3 investigation also found Wisconsin's whitewater rafting can be risky. Commercial river trips are a top tourist attraction that helps the industry rake in some of the state's yearly $16 billion. YouTube videos provide perspective from one of the state's more popular rivers. Snow-covered now, the Wolf runs 240 miles from Forest to Winnebago County. A stretch near Big Smoky Falls has rapids an international rating system dubs difficult.
She was full of life.
For Lena Vergara, that part also proved deadly. Local newspaper photos showed the Shawano County dive team trying to find Lena, but fighting daylight and a rain-swollen river.
Matter of fact, at that particular location, I couldn't even put a diver in the water anywhere as close to where she was actually last seen.
Deputy Weisensill would discover Lena 15 hours after she disappeared.
I saw those people coming with the blue thing. I knew they found her.
7 months later, the Vergara family is trading grief for grit to defend against more rafting deaths. Lena's July trip was her first. With her boyfriend, the two rented equipment from Shotgun Eddies that makes rafters sign a release recognizing risks on the river and recommends they wear life jackets. The pair put on theirs, but Lena's popped off when she fell in. Last year, the DNR reported 23 boating fatalities. More than half weren't wearing a life jacket, but they didn't have to. Wisconsin's boating law doesn't require it.
That would be one very simple step in this particular case that would really reduce or greatly reduce the risk of somebody, dying or drowning in that environment.
We decided from very shortly after this do something to avoid other people to have to go through what we have.
They started an online petition proposing safety changes like hired guides, lifeguards, and helmets. Nearly 3,000 people signed it. We reached out to Shotgun Eddies to ask if they were open to the changes.
If you could give me a call back, I'd really appreciate it.
Co-owner Brian Peters did, but declined our interview request. Unlike boating, rafting is not regulated by the state and doesn't require an operator's license, making any sort of industry modifications that much harder, but not unheard of. Take Utah, for example.
There have been incidences that have made us all change the way we run different programs.
Guide Arlo Tejado also applies for 24 government permits and makes life jackets mandatory.
You also have to have first aid, wilderness first responder, and CPR, and you also have to have food handlers for the national parks.
The certifications are common in states out west where boating deaths are nearly half of Wisconsin's latest total and most of its border states. Even fewer have died on commercial rafting trips. Last year, Lena Vergara was one of 2 rafters who died on Wisconsin's Wolf River.
They're going over that!
A pretty place that can be pretty dangerous, especially without a clear solution. Leave it to Lena's family, and they hope one day that changes.
We're not asking for much, but just precautions, safeties for the future for other people like my sister that want to enjoy the tourism in Wisconsin, but also do it in a safe manner.
Now, if you're under 13 years old on federal waters or on a jet ski, Wisconsin's law does require that you wear a life jacket, and there has to be enough of them in a boat for everyone on board. Back in 2009, a bill making anyone under 12 wear one on a boat failed in the legislature, and there's no known attempt to reintroduce it now. However, Eric, a Tribal Enforcement and Resource Protection Committee member has said he will address the Vergara's concerns at a future meeting, since that Shotgun Eddies
City's outfitter is on the Menominee Reservation.
Well, I tell you, learning a lot about rafting in Wisconsin in this story. If the public wants to help here, what can they do?
Yeah, this has been an eye-opening story for everyone involved. And besides really getting in touch with some of your local lawmakers, you can sign up for a 5K in Lena's honor. The May Run, hosted by the family, will raise money for a scholarship in Lena's name at UW-Oshkosh, where Lena was a student studying early childhood education.
All right, Jennifer Hoff reporting on. Jennifer, thank you.